Hey Taurus, so this is your 2-week forecast taking you from the full moon in Sagittarius on the 11th of June right the way through to the new moon in Cancer on the 25th of June. Now, I don't know about you, but this is really big time. Jupiter is totally the man of the match. He's doing quite a few extraordinary things. In fact, he's making some very, very strong squares to not only Saturn, but also to Neptune. He's also coming to a time where he's coming out of the Jupiter-Saturn square formation, which has been plaguing us since August of last year. So what is going to take place between now and the new moon in Cancer? Well, that's what I'm hoping to unravel for you. So if you stick around for around about 10 to 15 minutes or so, hopefully I'll be able to unpack that for you. If you're new to this channel, by the way, my name's Louisa Tanner-Munson, and this is Feel Good Astrology. Now, with the forecast today, I'm looking at your chart from the perspective of Taurus. Obviously, I don't know if you've got Taurus rising or if you're a Taurus sun. I designed these with a Western whole sign tropical model. And so if you are looking at this and you're a Taurus rising or Taurus ascendant, then it is Taurus that you should be listening to. If you are somebody who follows astrology from a Placidus perspective, I recommend you listen to both Taurus and Gemini. The reason being is with Placidus, you would have Taurus and Gemini in your first house. And so it really changes it a little bit. Right, let's bring up the slides and see what's going on. So obviously this is a full moon to new moon forecast. And in fact, I've created a different video, which is for all signs during this time from the 11th to the 25th of June, where I really talk about the energy of the full moon to the new moon, i.e. the waning moon phase, and talk very specifically about all the different aspects. Now, I'm not going to do that in this one, but you might find it useful if you want to go just that little bit deeper. But anyway, let's have a look now and see what's coming up. Actually, before we do, I just want to say thank you to everybody that sponsors this channel. Whether you're a part of my membership or, if you're just dropping me a little bit of money and buying me a coffee, then thank you so much. I really appreciate that. So anyway, these are the two charts I'm going to be looking at. The first one is the full moon in Sagittarius chart, and you'll see it's cutting across your 2nd and 8th houses. So the full moon is showing up in your 8th house, and the 8th house has everything to do with money, shared assets, but also the judgments that you might have on other people and the judgments that they might have on you. It's not necessarily a place where you feel very free. Like the 8th place is full of expectations, and it is also very much about the shame, blame, guilt, and anger that might have been lingering around for a while, and the potential to kind of shake that off. One of the things I really like about this in particular is on the day of the full moon, there's this lovely grand trine between the moon, Chiron, and also Mars. This is really encouraging you to take clear action, to work on those insecurities, those kind of surprising and hidden ones that maybe you weren't completely aware of, but as you become aware of them, the energy is to release them as soon as you can. Mars here is really wanting to help you move beyond. Mars is really wanting to take action on anything right now where you're feeling insecure. So yeah, Mars is a bit of an asset to you. Now, your ruling planet, which is Venus, is currently in your first house. It's in the sign of Taurus. Venus is very, very happy there. And, the great thing about Venus during this time is that she's making some really helpful angles and aspects to other planets. So, for instance, she is making this lovely trine to Mars, which she's been doing for quite some time. She's doing this, I think, until around about the middle of this period. So yeah, there's still this feeling that you've got enough kind of girly energy and masculine energy. It's like you are integrated. It's like when to push, when to receive, and kind of sit back and not work so hard. So I think this is quite helpful. This is really showing you that your usual style, whether it's more to take action in a more sort of like masculine way, or that it's more to be receptive, more in a feminine way. And by the way, I'm not really talking about outright genders. I'm just talking about the sort of stereotypical male female that most of us have grown up with to some level. The Venus and the Mars, it's not to cause offense, by the way, but what I really get is ordinarily you may well favor one style, but right now there's a sense of integration, there's a sense of balance. And actually that sense of balance, like doing what you maybe don't usually do. That's actually what's giving you the edge right now. Isn't that cool? And so Venus is in your first house pretty much throughout this whole period. As you can see on the new moon, she's still there. She's in your first house. I always find that when Venus goes through the first house, we are more attractive to people. You know, people notice us. We notice people. We're in a kind of receptive flow state. I think this is almost like an etheric facelift. You know, Venus coming through your first house is really allowing you to come forwards a bit. Without feeling too bold, without feeling too pushy, but she's just really helpful to kind of reintroduce yourself to the world. So I like that. But she's beyond the trine that I was talking about to Mars. She's also making sextiles to Jupiter and Mercury, and I think. No, she's not. But she's also making a square to Pluto. Now, this is right at the start. Now, Pluto right now is at the top of your chart in the 10th house. He's going to be there for a really, really long time, by the way, at least another 18 and a half years. And so one thing you might want to watch out for at the beginning of this 2-week period is the sense that you can't be free to be yourself, like anywhere where you might be revealing your softer side, your more beautiful side, your more attractive side, the side that cares about how you're seeing, the side that cares about other people. It's almost like that softer side is at odds with anyone who is maybe like your boss, anyone that is in a superior authoritative position to you. So that's something to work out for. But if you look at the rest of the Venus energies, they're all really, really positive. So for instance, this sextile with Mercury and also the sextile with Jupiter, I think are enhancing this sense of continuation with people, this sense of fun, light-hearted, easygoing. There's nothing very stressful about it. So Venus is, I think, a real star here in this time ahead. Now, you'll notice that Venus isn't really doing too much, but when we look at what's going on at the end of this 2-week period, you'll see that she's got a sextile going to the North Node, and she's also got a trine going to the South Node. Now, you know, the South Node is showing us what we're pretty good at doing. However, the North Node is showing us where we're really starting to learn and needing to learn new skills. And so Venus is really helping us to kind of blend the two, to recognize our strengths from the past, really truly recognize them. In particular, the strengths of your creativity, your strengths of initiation, your strengths of creating a fun new start, and possibly being a little bit flirtatious, possibly capturing the attention of other people. You know, the skills involved in capturing the imagination and being totally creative and up for raising the vibration. Now, that's a beautiful skill set, and it's really undervalued in so many different ways. And yet Venus is also connecting to the North Node in the 11th house in the sign of Pisces. And actually, as creative as you are right now, Venus is really encouraging you to create with other people. So it's less about creating for yourself and you know, doing the thing that you've done really well in the past, but actually the emphasis is put on developing new ways of being creative with other people. So here I think she's quite helpful. Now, if we go ahead and have a look, at the, here I was already on the right chart. If we have a look at the new moon in Cancer in particular on the 25th of June, what you'll find is the energy here is really emphasizing the 3rd house. And with Venus connecting to the 11th house, you know, the 3rd and the 11th are both really social signs. They are areas where there's a sense of belonging, there's a sense of mission, there's a sense of learning and sharing, and it's fun, and there are other people. So whatever you're thinking about in terms of this 2 weeks ahead, I think as you get closer and closer and closer to the new moon in Cancer, this really strong need to connect with people at a real sort of heart level and also at a vision level. So I don't know what it is that you're doing in particular that, you know, is necessitating that, but to me, the biggest wins for you at this moment in time is in the sense of collaborative working, in the sense of you've got something going on with other people. So you're not carrying the burden of life on your shoulders, but in fact, you're doing stuff with other people. There's a couple of more things I just want to share with you. And that is the other sign changes. So we've got Mars coming out of Leo on the 17th and going into Virgo. Now, as Mars is coming into Virgo, you may well find that there's a lot of creative ideas coming up because Mars is going to be generating that creation. Now, any sort of ideas that are coming up are usually quite of service. You know, Mars in the sign of Virgo is very much about practical action and being of service. Now, of course, I was just talking about how you might want to be creating with other people. So I wonder how you can be of service and take practical action and maybe share some of your ideas with the people that you're engaged with right now. You know, Mars here, I think, is allowing you to see much bigger picture ideas that are much better from a shared perspective. So I think that is something that's likely to come on. From a sensuality perspective as well, Mars in this part of the chart is really good. The last one I think I wanted to share is just about the fact that we are going through a season change on the 21st of June. So the sun's going into the sign of Cancer, bringing on summer in the northern hemisphere and winter in the southern hemisphere. So this is a time of great change. You know, this is really showing that the world, the environment that you're working in and living in is kind of really sort of changing, you know, sufficiently. So, for instance, in terms of the beginning of winter down in the southern hemisphere, it's really showing that you're coming to the colder time of year. You're coming to a culmination point, you know, of the like that sense of well, yeah, the longest night of the year for you. And if you're in the northern hemisphere, you're coming to the lightest day. So there are real issues of light versus dark, and there are real sort of issues of that change that happens when you reach that far edge. You know, these solstices are showing that there is like a need to change, to turn somewhat. You know, it's a bit different, like autumn and winter, the starts of autumn and autumn and spring. They are at the halfway points where the sun and the light in the day are evenly spaced at the exact moments of the equinoxes. But these solstices are either pushing the light or pushing the darkness. Now, this is going to create an energetic shift in you. This is going to create either a slowing down or a speeding up suddenly. So it's worth bearing that in mind, you know. And with the sun coming into Cancer and also making the new moon in conjunction with Jupiter, whatever is going on in terms of the light and how you're using it, it is precipitating this sense of fun community space, fun, opportunistic, not opportunistic, sorry, a place with lots of opportunities. The opportunistic sounds a little bit sort of sinister. So a place with lots of opportunities, a place with lots of hopefulness, a place with lots of cheer, a place with lots of support, and I think a place where there's a sense of expansion. So whatever you're doing is leading you towards an expansion within the community. And I think that's really where I want to leave this today. So I hope you have a really good 2 weeks ahead. Hope this works out beautifully for you. If you'd like to go deeper, I do have a membership, and with my memberships, I release a relationship and connection forecast at the same time as I release this, and also a career and ambition forecast too. Also, there's loads of other things going on, learning and sharing in the group. It's quite a warm space. I would say we've created together a feeling of connection, which I'm really proud of. It's a really, really nice place. There are also 3 different things that I've got information about below that can actually help you during this time. One of them, for instance, is a link to a WhatsApp service called Astronex. Now, if you click this link, it's going to take you to somewhere where you can get 5 free questions whereby, you know, through your time, place and date of birth, you'll be able to get specific advice as to what's going on in your chart, you know, and you can ask any question pretty much. So I think that's really quite useful. So look out for that particular link. Also, beyond the membership space that I've got. If you would like me to take a look at your chart, you might find it useful. Then all you need to do is just book space into my diary. All of the links are below. So I'm going to leave that there for you, Taurus. Have a fantastic 2 weeks ahead and catch you another time real soon. Bye for now.